Hey, what is going on, guys? My name is Sage Greenstein, also known as the Singing Investor, and thanks so much for checking out my channel. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Everything would be a huge help. So in today's episode, I'm going to be talking about the 5 best pieces of advice I wish I received regarding my finances when I was in high school and college that would have set myself up a lot better come graduation time in understanding why I should be saving, where I should be putting it, and what I could start to be doing now to reach financial freedom. Thank you guys so much and enjoy. So the very first piece of advice that I have for you is going to be setting up the foundation for everything else I'll be talking about in this video. And that's having a clear understanding of what your expenses are and where your money is going. Now, why is this important? Well, it's really hard for you to decide how much money you're able to save if you don't know what you're responsible for paying every single month. So I highly encourage you to take 5 to 10 minutes out of your day writing down all the different expenses you have. And that's going to be rent, utilities, entertainment and fun, groceries, so on and so forth. And I understand everyone's expenses are going to look a little bit different, but once you have that balance, you'll then be in a much better position to ask yourself, okay, what am I comfortable setting aside in a savings account of some sort every single month? And that could be something as little as $5 to $10 or $50 to $100. But the idea here is to start getting in the habit now of putting some money aside every single month and letting it work for you and grow in a savings account. I promise you'll be thankful that you did. Now that you have a much better idea of what your monthly expenses are and what you're responsible for paying, now it's time for you to decide how much money you're willing to set aside and put into a savings account every single month. Now the key thing here is to be consistent with whatever amount of money you decide to put in. And I want to tell you guys, look, I'm 24 years old, I'm working, and I'm still trying to figure out how much money I want to keep saving every single month. So that number will look different for everyone, but the idea is to get in the habit early and understand what options you have and where you can put that money. So there are a few different things you can do. You can open up a bank account and put some money into a savings account as a rainy day fund for emergencies or any instances where you need to get your hands on some quick cash. You can look into the stock market. You can open up a retirement fund. And if your employer offers you a 401k as a benefit, you'll be able to set aside monthly contributions into a 401k. Or you can open up a traditional IRA, which is another form of a retirement fund, where you can decide for yourself how much money you want to set aside into that account every single month. Now, what's really great about doing this is there's something called compound interest. And what that's going to do is it's going to allow your money to start working for you and earning interest on itself based on what holdings you decide to put your money in. So I recommend you start early, because by the time you're in your 30s, 40s, and 50s, you'll be really, really surprised at how much your money has grown just from making these small contributions when you're in your younger 20s. Hello, hello. So my third piece of advice is to familiarize yourself with the stock market and to get in early. And I know what you're probably thinking, but Sage, I don't really know much about the stock market, and don't companies cost a lot of money? How am I supposed to afford buying Google or Amazon or even Facebook, right? And listen, I totally get that, and I'm not expecting you to be able to afford all these different companies and throw money into the stock market, but what's really, really great is a lot of individual brokerage companies like Robinhood, Webull, just to name a few, allow the opportunities for investors to make something called fractional shares. And what that is let's say you just wanted to own $25 worth of a company, right? Let's say you wanted to own Google because you don't see Google going anywhere. You use it all the time. You think it's a great company. What you can do is you can say, I want to own $25 worth of Google, a fraction of Google. So you're going to put your $25 into the account for Google. And what's going to happen is as the stock performs well or poorly, the amount of money you've put into that stock, the $25, will react proportionally. So you can still get your feet wet, you can still get in early, and you can still start to learn how the market works. And it doesn't have to be for Google, right? You can do it for companies like Apple, Amazon, Google, Facebook, just to name a few. So again, get involved and get familiar, and you'll be happy that you did. So my fourth piece of advice for you guys is to start establishing a sense of credit. Now, why is credit important? Well, as you guys continue to get older and you're starting a family and you want to take a mortgage out on a home, they're going to look for, a high credit score. They want to make sure that you are someone that is responsible enough to pay back the money that you borrow. And it's not just for mortgages, right? This is going to be used for renting and leasing a home, getting a car. So it's important that you guys start early, and it's really easy to do so. All you got to do is reach out to your local bank, ask your grandparents, maybe search online, what are some great credit cards for someone in my age bracket, right? Sign up for one and start making some small payments on them, and make sure to pay them off immediately. Again, what we're trying to do is prove to these companies that you are someone that is able to pay off these purchases once they are made. Your credit score will slowly start to go up, and once you're in a much, older age bracket and you start needing to take out a mortgage, needing a car, maybe putting some money down on a rent or a piece of property, you'll have the credit score you need in order to do it with no problems whatsoever. Now, my fifth and final piece of advice is to continue learning, right? That one seems super obvious, but the only way you're going to get more confident and familiar with the world of personal finance, saving, and growing your financial wealth is by investing the time to learn on what you can do to do better. And that's starting by watching videos like me, right? Watching videos like this, looking through YouTube, which has tons and tons of amazing YouTubers that put great content out regarding financials and understanding personal finance. Going on sites like Investopedia, again, asking your grandparents, involving yourself in friend groups that talk about this sort of thing, right? Because again, as you start to have these conversations, it won't seem as scary anymore. When I was younger, the last thing I wanted to do was be involved in a conversation about personal finance, investing, stocks, things like that, because I didn't know much, right? I felt like I was someone that couldn't be involved in the conversation, didn't have much to offer. But now, the more time that I've spent doing it, the more I not only found that I enjoy it, but I can actually add things of value and share things with my friends that they think are interesting too. Plus, I'm constantly learning things from them as well. Well, there you go, guys. Those are my 5 pieces of advice I wish I received when I was in high school and college regarding my finances to set myself up after I graduated. If you got any value out of this video and enjoyed the content, please make sure to like and subscribe. It would help out the channel immensely. If there's any pieces of advice or tips that you guys have that I didn't cover in this video, I would love to hear about them in the comment section below, and I look forward to hearing from you guys soon. Without further ado, that's The Singing Investor. Stay tuned for more videos, and I'll see you guys soon.